Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to another episode of Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness. I am so delighted you're here with me today. Today I want to talk to you guys about not allowing fear to keep you stuck and taking a chance when opportunity knocks, when you're presented with amazing offers. Don't talk yourself out of it. Too often we go through life and we want to play things safe. Everybody does it. Our ego tells us that things may not turn out well if we don't stick to what we know and stay on the right path. Bad things could happen. And of course, it's understandable. It's very easy to see why we do this. If you're like me, I watch true crime all the time. And what happens in these episodes, they always say things like, well, she took a different way home. Or, they're always telling you that somebody did something out of the ordinary. They didn't play it safe, and then something bad happened. The truth is that's a very slim margin. I'm not saying don't be safe, but I'm saying that we're surrounded by things that tell us that if we don't stay small, if we don't play safe, if we take a risk, it's going to end badly. And the truth is, life is about taking risks. If you don't ever take any risks in life, then you haven't really truly lived. I wanted to talk about this because my sister and I started a tradition, and that was that the last week of school, like the last week of summer break, we would go somewhere. We started doing this a year ago, so I say tradition, it's only the second year, but still it's becoming a tradition because we're already planning for next year. We just decided we're going to take a week, we're going to pick wherever we're going to go, we're going to have sister bonding time, and we're going to explore new things. And we have had so much fun doing this. And I would highly encourage you to get out there and take an adventure. Do something out of the ordinary, something that you wouldn't normally do. You meet so many really cool people when you get out there. I know it can be difficult because if you're an introvert or you're an empath and you really don't like being around people or you hate putting yourselves in strange situations, I get it. That used to be me all the time. I didn't want to put myself out there for fear of looking stupid or feeling dumb, feeling rejected, nobody's really going to want to talk to me. But that has changed, especially since doing this podcast. I've just sort of realized how open and kind most people are. Yeah, you're going to meet some people who maybe aren't, but for the most part, people really want to get to know you, and they want to share ideas and talk and laugh, and we all need to feel that connection. So when you put yourself out there by either starting a new project or taking a new job, going on that trip, whatever it is that you're doing that you put yourself out there for, you have all of these cool things that come from it. Whether you make new friends, and both times that we went on a trip, I met people that I talked to who were really cool. Like another person was another podcaster, and we exchanged information and still keep in contact. So there's a safe way to go about things, but if you just stay small and don't ever take any risks, you're never going to find cool and amazing people or opportunities in life. And of course, with risk, there's the percentage that you take that risk and it doesn't turn out the way you want it to. An example, you decide you're going to take a risk and get bangs, and you get bangs and they look stupid and you're like, oh my gosh, they'll grow out. That's the thing. There's usually a small price to pay, and you can assess and go, okay, well, I did that. It didn't really work out. Did my life end? Was it terrible? No. But instead, we just stay stuck. We don't do anything because we're just so afraid that if we put ourselves out there, the worst possible thing is going to happen. Taking risks in life actually exposes you to so many positive outcomes, and you never would have known it if you didn't try. So if you wanted to try out for a sports team, say you make it, you build relationships with those teammates, you have so much fun. growing up, there are a lot of things that I wasn't brave enough to do. I didn't really play sports. I didn't get involved into clubs and different activities a lot of times because I was, again, afraid that what if I'm not good, or what if they don't want to talk to me? And I let those fears outweigh everything else, when in reality, I probably would have had a much better high school experience or junior high experience if I had taken more risks to talk to people. Taking risks actually helps boost your confidence. And the more you do it, the less you fear failing, because you realize that it's not really a big deal if you fail. If you fall on your face, it doesn't really matter. That may seem difficult for you to understand right now because so many of us cling to what we know and we want to be safe. But if you don't take the risk, then you don't earn the benefits of that risk. Like going out on a date sometimes, even though it can be very scary. For me, the last few times, I just ended up meeting people that ended up being good friends. And friends always make our lives much richer. It's always better to have more friends and to meet new people. I would never have done that if I would have let the fear keep me stuck and keep me from doing that. So it's really important to take risks, but you don't have to start huge. I'm talking about how my sister and I decided to go on an adventure and go to a new place. You don't have to start that big. In fact, you can start really small and work your way up. And the more you do this, the better you get at it, the more you're able to let go of the fear that what you're going to do doesn't work out. So I'm going to show you some little things that you can start doing every single day to help you take little risks so that you get better at it. It's like practicing, right? The more you practice, the better you get. And the better you get, the less likely you are to fail at something. And then you might realize sometimes when we fail, we actually learn a really important lesson, and it's something that can help us in the future. So, how do you start taking small risks every day that will help give you a boost in confidence? Number one, this seems kind of stupid. It might seem small, but it really is something that many of us don't do. Wear an item of clothing that you have never worn before that might make you feel like, oh, I don't know if I should wear this. I'm going to tell you something. I have a friend who always wants to try new things, like she wanted to put purple in her hair, or she wanted to wear jeans with holes in them. And she has another friend who tells her she's too old for that. And I said to her, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. You're not too old for anything. Like, do whatever you want to do. What we're too old for is to wear the weight of other people's opinions, because that stuff's heavy. Do what you want to do. I put purple in my hair. I put pink in my hair. I wear holy jeans and shorts. I don't care what people think of me if I'm comfortable with myself. And at first, if you're wearing an item of clothing that you're not used to wearing, like, yeah, I want to get a pair of jeans with holes in them, or yeah, I want to put a little color in my hair. If you're not comfortable at first, that's okay. I wasn't comfortable putting that kind of color in my hair at first either, and I had to get used to the fact that whenever I walked around, people would look at me. But then people started saying, like, oh, I love your hair. So I could have been turned off by the fact that people were just staring at me, but I realized that a lot of people are just like, oh, wow, that's kind of cool. And it doesn't matter what other people think anyway. If you think it's cool, that is what really matters. But it doesn't have to be the color in your hair. It can be just an item of clothing that you really like, have always wanted to wear, but maybe you've never had the courage to do it. Bring yourself to wear that item, okay? Do that. Also, take a new class, whether it's learning a new language or maybe taking a new yoga class or workout class. I've always wanted to try those aerial classes, where they have, I don't know exactly what they're called, but they have the cloth that comes down from the ceiling, and it's like you do aerial acrobatics or something. You learn how to do that. I've always thought that would be really fun, and someday I am going to do it. Got to keep, reminding myself, hey, you wanted to try that. But something like that would be really fun. Whatever you've always been interested in, You've been interested in taking a cooking class, do that. They have glass blowing classes now. That would be really a cool, fun thing to do. But try a new class, learn a new skill. You might find it something that you really love, and you might not, but you're taking a risk. And if you think that it's something that brings you joy or you're good at it, it's going to boost your self-esteem. Another thing that sounds interesting, but I love this idea, and this is thinking of someone who inspires you and taking time out of your day just to send them a little note and tell them why. You might be a little surprised at how this actually helps you with your confidence, especially if the person responds, right? Like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for telling me. I really appreciate that. And then when you are in contact with people who inspire you, sometimes we'll be surprised that they actually will respond. And sometimes they don't, but writing that out and just sharing why someone inspires you also kind of builds your own self-confidence. This is one, and I would never tell you to spend money that you don't have, but sometimes we're very stingy with ourselves, and I know that I can be very stingy with myself. I want you to think of something that you would really love to have and just splurge a little bit. Maybe set a price limit like, $50 or $100. But this is something that I've always wanted, and I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna take the time. I'm gonna order this for myself. I'm gonna do this for myself. You would be surprised how many times I stopped myself from doing something that I wanted to do because I thought, no, I can't spend the money. I don't want to do this. I've done that so many times in my life. And when I look back and I think about all of the times when I took a risk on myself, like when I found airline tickets to Munich for $300 round trip, and I called my brother and I said, let's go. And we really didn't have a plan. He called two of his friends and told them, hey, these tickets are $300. And we're talking, this was in the late 90s, early 2000s. But I said, I found these tickets. And my brother said, all right, let's go. We bought the airline ticket, not having any place to stay or anything else. Once we all decided that we were going and had our tickets, then we planned out where to stay. We found a really cool apartment that we could rent for 2 weeks. And it turned out to be one of the best trips I've ever taken in my life. But if I hadn't taken the risk when I saw, look at the price of these tickets, I would have missed out. And I think that is a lot of what I'm talking about today is when you see those opportunities, like a door opens or you see that something that you've always wanted to do is on sale and you talk yourself out of it, that's a fail. Like, we don't want to do that to ourselves. We're failing ourselves because we're not taking a chance on us. We see things that might make us really happy and we just ignore it and we don't do it. So another way that you could take more risk is, like, if you like to cook, cooking a recipe you've never tried before just to see, or eating out. This is a big one too. Like, I know for a lot of people, eating foods that they've never had before can be very unnerving to them. Try a cultural food you've never had before. Go to a restaurant you've never visited. Those are just little ways that you can take risk. And here's the thing. If you go and you have a meal and you're like, oh, this meal wasn't that great, it's not much of a loss. You may just have to eat something else when you get home. But you're taking that risk and it's building your confidence. But I know personally that I've had people who say, well, I was afraid to try this type of food, but I went and I did it and I loved it. That's how I felt about sushi when I first tried it. I was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to like this because I don't necessarily like fish in general, like a fishy taste, But I went and I tried it and I absolutely loved it. And then I began to expand the kind of sushi that I would get. I would never have done that if I was afraid to take risks. And that is the point of this. When you hold back and you don't take any risk at all, you miss out on so much. You really miss out on so much. One other really easy thing that you can do is try watching shows you wouldn't normally watch. I've done this too because I've had friends recommend things. I'm like, oh, that's not generally the type of show that I would watch. And I found shows I absolutely loved and binge watched an entire season of it. So you'll find when you take these risks, you're going to learn more about yourself. Oh, I didn't realize that I liked this. I didn't realize that I would enjoy that, or that I don't like this. And the reason is because we don't put ourselves out there. You know, some people were fortunate enough to be raised in homes where you traveled the world and you tried everything and parents encouraged you to do that. But most of us did not. Most of us had parents who, we took this trip, we ate this meal, you know, it was very regimented. And so we became very rigid in our thinking and in what we do. So these are little ways to open yourself up to new opportunities, new ideas, new cultures, and you can take a risk without having to fly around the world, you know. That's another thing. If there's always been a place you wanted to travel, start small. Like start doing a little research about that place. You know, what's the culture like? What's the food like? What's the weather like? What does it cost to go there? And start saving up if that's something that you want to do. But these are all ways that that's what life is. I'm sorry, but life is not meant to be dull and boring and mundane. It's just not. But if we're not taking risks and taking chances, it can be very dull and boring. So that's why it's important. It's important because it also helps us with our communication skills. When we go to new places, we meet new people, we learn about other people and other cultures, as well as we learn more about ourselves. Make it a goal maybe to talk to somebody you've never talked to. That's, I know, a big one for a lot of people that would be scary, but you never know who you would click with and make friends with if you don't talk to people. Here's going to be a big one too. If you're a planner, try getting up one day and not having any plans at all and just seeing what happens for the day. Just see where it takes you. Sometimes that's really, really fun to do. Like when we were on our trip, one day we didn't make any plans. We just got up and said, we're just going to go where we go and do what we do and see what happens. And we had a really fun day. And we met a lot of people that day too, because we ended up just like sitting in restaurants and talking to people who worked there and locals, and found more out about where we were. And people gave us amazing suggestions like, you need to try out this restaurant, or you need to go to this place. So you will learn a lot of new things if you just are open to taking a little risk now and then. All right, well, I wanted to pull a few cards for you today. And so I pulled a few cards from the Soul Truth deck by Brianne Hovey. And the first card that came out is, am I clear on what my soul really wants? Take out the shoulds and the limitations. Get out of your head and pay attention to your heart's desires instead. If you knew it was impossible to fail, what would you do? Wherever you go, go with all of your heart. I love that. You cannot make this stuff up, and the universe just lines everything up perfectly. There's another synchronicity. Follow your heart. The soul action for the card is, ask yourself what it is that your soul really wants. What does your heart crave? Then take one step in that direction. All right, and the next card we have for you today is, am I letting fear stop me? Well, really, you guys, another synchronicity, another sign. Are you experiencing a mountain of fear right now? Are you stalling, freezing, or giving up? The juicy secret is that you are the boss of fear. You are unstoppable, but it's up to you to see that by taking action. Today's soul action is, today be brave and do it scared. Choose one fear and move through it. You are in need of a hero, so that is who you will become. I love that. It's so true. If something really, truly scares me, it's a sign I know that I have to do it. And it can be very uncomfortable when you're moving through fear, but it is possible. It's possible to get through it, and you will come out better on the other side. So move through your fear and take a step to do something today that has always made you just a little bit afraid. All right, guys. Well, I hope that you do take a chance on yourself, put yourself out there, and see what happens. As always, if you want to join me on Patreon, you can join the Patron page for $5 a month or $10 a month. You get 2 extra episodes a week. Plus, for the $10 tier, you get readings each week, and you have access to the videos of the interviews that I do with my guests. So I hope you will consider joining us. It is so much fun. Plus, sometimes we have interesting discussions there. So join us over on Patreon. The link is in the show notes. And if you would like to work with me, I did decide to open the readings back up because as soon as I closed them down, I had like 3 people asking for readings, and I realized that I don't want to close that off because I really do enjoy helping people and working with people. So I have that or a healing session. I also am still doing coaching. You can check out everything I offer over at melissaoatman.com. You can purchase from there and then just reach out to me to schedule. As always, I am sending you guys so much love and light. I hope you have a beautiful day from wherever you're listening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.